What's going on, guys? Today I'm back with another H.A.T format replay review for you guys. If you're interested in sending in your H.A.T format replays, you can go down to the video description and find all the information on how to go about sending those in. Anyways, the match I have for you today, we have Nagaz93, who is going to be on Norleras Turbo, versus Six Soul, who is going to be on Six Samurai. I know you guys really enjoy both of these decks when I show them off, despite them maybe not being the most meta or competitive decks in H.A.T format. I know you guys really like them, so hopefully this will be a good game, but without further ado, let's get straight into this. So it looks like Nug is going to win the rock, paper, scissors and get to start this one out. Opening hands, we see the Dark Creator, Rhoda, Plasma, Trade-In, and Upstart Goblin, so a pretty solid starting hand, lots of draw power and ways to kind of turbo through the deck. And on the other side, we see Asceticism, Forbidden Lance, Shien's Dojo, Shien's Smoke Signal, and Upstart, so also not the worst hand from Six Soul here. But anyways, Nug is going to get a draw here, getting a copy of Phantom of Chaos, so now it's really just a matter of being able to go and find that copy of Norleras and get it into graveyard. So anyways, let's see what they choose to do here, activating Rhoda and going for a copy of Dark Grepher, which I guess in theory will get you there, especially given they can just special the Grepher, not need to use their normal summon, and then they'll be able to just go for the Phantom of Chaos there. And ideally, if they are going to dump something, maybe if they are on, you know, the Plague Spreader zombie or anything like that, then they can stack the Dark Creator, so they'll be able to draw it off of the Norleras when it actually happens. But let's see what they choose to do here, going for Upstart into Destiny draw, so perfect draw there, so they can get rid of the Plasma and draw two, drawing into another copy of Plasma and Upstart Goblin. And here they do get the copy of Norleras, so they do have an easy way to get it into graveyard now. And here they're going to use the trade-in, getting rid of that Norleras and drawing into Mally and Plague Spreader. So unfortunately not the greatest there, but I guess at the same time it is pretty solid, because again, you can just get rid of the Mally to summon the Grepher, and then use Grepher getting rid of the Plague Spreader, sending something else, and then you can make a level 8 Synchro, as well as being able to Norleras your opponent. So very strong. Here they are going to go and use that Grepher, getting rid of the Mally as I figured, then using the Grepher, getting rid of the Plague Spreader, and let's see what they send, choosing to get rid of a copy of Street Patrol. Okay, very solid, and then going for that normal summon, going for the Phantom of Chaos, using the effect and banishing the copy of Norleras here to make it have the effect, then using the Phantom of Chaos, which is now Norleras. And I'll go over this one more time, even though by now hopefully you guys know what this card does, but anyways, it says this card cannot be normal summoned or set. This card cannot be special summoned. I guess the summoning requirement isn't relevant because we're using Phantom of Chaos to copy the effect, but basically it's saying you can pay 1,000 life points to send all cards on the field and in both players' hands to the graveyard. Then you can draw one card. So just, you know, going and being able to clear the whole hand. So Six Soul is going to lose their whole hand, and here Nug is going to draw into a copy of Destiny draw. But regardless, they do have that Mally in graveyard as well as the Plague Spreader, so they'll be able to at least apply some pressure here, and that's exactly what they're going to do, going and banishing Mally. And then from there, they are going to use the Plague Spreader and put back that copy of Destiny draw, summon out the Plague Spreader, and Synchro summon for a copy of Void Ogre in defense. So pretty solid, I would say. You know, this card being able to negate a spell or trap while they have no cards in hand is pretty good, though, you know, there are a lot of powerful monsters in, you know, H.A.T format, so this could have some repercussions depending on the draw, but I feel like Six Samurai doesn't exactly have a single one card that's going to get you out of this situation without, you know, multiple things. For example, like Kizan needs another Six Sam, same with Grandmaster, and same with like a bunch of the other Six Samurai monsters. But let's see what happens here. They draw into a copy of Chalice, so not great. Over to Nug, who gets that copy of Destiny draw that they had stacked, switching the Void Ogre to attack and swinging in for a lot of damage. So there they just dealt with the 3 Upstart Goblins, so they still have a ways to go. And anyways, they are going to set that Destiny draw as a bluff over to Six Soul, who gets a copy of Inishi, which is a pretty solid draw, but they are going to just pass here over to Nug, who gets another Norleras. And I believe they probably thought that was trade-in for a second there, so they accidentally revealed it. And now, you know, Six Soul does know that this is a bluff. But anyways, going to battle phase and swinging in for another 3,000 over to Six Soul, who gets a copy of United. So they are getting, you know, the draws that they would want to see for the most part. And they do have a little bit of time, but not that much to actually make something happen from it. And here back over to Nug, who gets a copy of the Dark Creator. Again, just swinging in with the Void Ogre Dragon over to Six Soul, who gets a copy of Dojo. So they're going to have to try to do something now if they want to actually survive this game. So let's see if they can make something happen here. And they're going to start by activating Dojo, activating United, summoning the copy of Inishi, and each one of these spells are going to get a counter. So the United is going to allow them to put a counter and get rid of it, and draw a card for every counter, and obviously maximum 2, but they're just going to have to use 1 because they only had the 1/6 Samurai here. So here they're activating that, sending it to the graveyard, and drawing a card, getting a copy of Elder. After that, just setting this copy of Chalice and passing turn. Here, Nug gets another copy of Norleras. So honestly, if Six Soul had ways to, out this Void Ogre, it probably could have ended really badly. And, obviously, the Void Ogre isn't even live right now because of the cards in hand. So that is a little unfortunate there too. So here, they're just going to go to battle phase and run into that copy of Inishi, and over to Six Soul, who gets a copy of Smoke Signal, which is, again, a really good card because they also have the Elder. I'm just trying to think what they could actually summon to out this, because even going for something like a copy of Catastor or something doesn't really out this. So let's see what they choose to do. Here, special summoning the copy of Elder because the opponent controls a monster and they don't control any monsters. After that, the Dojo can trigger, which says each time a 6 Samurai monster is normal or special summon, place a Bushido counter on this card, and you can send this card to the graveyard, special summon 1 6 Samurai or Shien effect monster from your main deck whose level is less than or equal to the number of Bushido counters on this card. So here they're going to get rid of it and get to summon the Tuner, the Kageki, or Kagamusha, my apologies. And yep, and then so they do have the Smoke Signal, so, they might be able to do something, but here synchroing for a copy of legendary 6 Samurai Shien, so kind of funny that they both, in a way, have spell and trap negates on board, though again, the Void Ogre isn't live because Nug does have cards in hand. Here, we're going to see that copy of Smoke Signal getting a copy of Hand of the 6 Samurai. It kind of makes you wonder if, Six Soul doesn't have a larger synchro or something like that, because they had a level 3 and a 2, so maybe had they had, that would be like a 5, so 6, 7, 8, 9... Oh, but this has to be 3 or lower, so they'd have to go for like an 8 that would be able to out a Void Ogre, which I'm trying to think if there's anything off the top of my head, but here, either way, going for Hand of the 6 Samurai, and it says if you control another 6 Samurai monster, you contribute 1 6 Samurai monster and target 1 monster on the field, destroy that target. So here they are going to get rid of itself to pop the copy of Void Ogre, and now Six Soul can start applying some pressure with the Shien over to Nug, who gets a copy of Destiny Draw. So here they can special summon the Dark Creator. It says cannot be normal summoned or set, must first be special summoned from the hand by having 5 or more dark monsters in your graveyard while you control no monsters. And then once per turn, you can banish 1 dark monster from your graveyard to target a dark monster in your graveyard and special summon that target. And obviously they have plenty of darks here, and just in general, they have a lot of things they can do. So I would assume this game is basically over at this point. And here they are going to use the effect banishing the Dark Creator to target the Void Ogre, but that is going to get met with the Chalice. So, I guess Six Soul will have 1 more turn in them. Nug sets that copy of Destiny Draw over to Six Soul, who gets another copy of Chalice. And unfortunately, it's not enough, and it looks like Six Soul is going to scoop it up, but this time they will get to start out game number 2. Opening hands, we see the Dark Creator, Plague Spreader Zombie, Mind Control, Summoner Monk, and Lance. So again, a pretty solid hand here. And on the other side, we see the Anishi, Asceticism, Smoke Signal, Great Shogun Shien, and Kizan. So also a very strong hand here from Six Soul. And here they draw into a copy of the Grandmaster, so really good hand, honestly, activating that copy of Smoke Signal and getting the Kagamusha. From here, they're going to normal the Kagamusha, special summon the Grandmaster, and now because they control 2 6 Samurais, they can summon the copy of Great Shogun Shien. This card says if you control 2 or more face-up 6 Samurai monsters, you can special summon this card from your hand, and your opponent can only activate 1 spell or trap each turn. and if it would be destroyed, you can destroy a face-up 6 samurai monster you control instead. So a very oppressive card against the Norleras deck because they have so many draw cards, draw cards that are spells, but at the same time, we do see this mind control, so that could be a problem given, if Six Soul doesn't go for a Xian play. They do have the asceticism, so we'll just have to see. Here they are going to activate that asceticism and go for a copy of Elder, and they are going to be able to go into, they're going into Naturia Beast, actually. I'm not exactly sure what's going on with the picture right there. Hopefully, there we go. So we are good there, but going for that is also equally as good, if not better than Xian in this exact case, because whatever spell is activated, they only get one pretty much. So here we're going to see Nug draw for turn, getting a copy of Norleras, and they're going to go and normal the Summoner Monk, use the effect, get rid of the mind control, go for a Greffer, and they do have some plays here, going for the Greffer, discarding the Plague Spreader, so, a Beals can easily out some of this board, so they're going to send the Mali, activate the Plague Spreader, putting back the Norleras, banishing the Mali to then shuffle the deck, and be able to get out that copy of Mali. And then here they're going to synchro into the copy of Beals, which can clear a lot, and go for a 101. So the 101 can take the Naturia Beast, and the Beals will be able to walk over the copy of Xian, and they're going to use the protection, getting rid of the Grandmaster here, and the 101 can then walk over with the copy of Lance there, which that was the only spell they used that turn, surprisingly, because they did go for that Summoner Monk play, and I'm just trying to see here, with the protection of this, let me see, because this says if this card in your possession is destroyed by an opponent's card effect, so they won't be able to get that back or anything, and then here, just passing turn over to Six Soul, who gets a copy of Upstart, and, they started really strong, honestly, but it just wasn't enough because of that strong play there with the Summoner Monk. Upstart Goblin is activated, getting a copy of 6 Sam United, and here the United's activated, summoning that copy of Inishi, and then specialing the keys on, so, Six Soul will get basically a Pot of Greed here, using the United, drawing into Emptiness and a copy of Smoke Signal, and a little unfortunate this Emptiness isn't going to be great here. Maybe, Six Soul will go for something like a 101, to take the Beals, and then they have the option of crashing, but it just doesn't feel great here. Here they are, though, going to use the copy of Inishi. This is a very powerful effect, so maybe they can actually clear this whole board here, which says once per turn during either player's turn, you can banish 2 6 samurai monsters from your graveyard, target a face-up monster on the field, return that target to the hand. You must control a face-up 6 samurai monster with a different name to activate and resolve this effect. While you control 2 or more face-up 6 samurai monsters, except legendary 6 samurai Inishi, this card gains 500 attack and defense. So here, they can bounce the Beals, and then here they can make a, what is this? This is the structure deck one. I completely forgot about this card. It needs 2 level 4 6 samurai monsters. Once per turn, quick effect, you can detach an Xyz material from this card, target 1 6 samurai monster you control with less than 2,000 attack. Its original attack becomes 2,000 until the end of this turn. Very interesting card here. So sort of just a big body here, and they do have Emptiness, so that will be good. Going to battle phase and attacking into the 101, which is going to protect itself by getting rid of the Naturia Beast, and then main phase 2 Six Soul is going to use that Smoke Signal, getting a copy of Spirit of the 6 Samurai, so they are on a very teched out version of 6 Samurai here, for what we've seen on the channel so far. This card says once per turn, you can target a 1/6 face-up 6 samurai monster you control, equip this card to that target, or unequip this card and special summon it in face-up attack position. While equipped by this effect, the equipped monster gains 500 attack and defense. If the equipped monster destroys an opponent's monster by battle, draw a card. Monster can only be equipped with 1 unit monster at a time. If the equipped monster would be destroyed, destroy this card instead. So very good card, and it is going to, make this Shadow of the 6 Samurai Xian basically a 3,000 beater. Let me just double check this. Yeah, it's 6 Samurai monster, so no other requirements, and obviously this is a 6 Samurai monster. So here they are going to set the Emptiness, and they're choosing not to use the Spirit. Is there something I'm missing here with this? Once per turn during either target 1 face-up 6 Samurai monster you control. So Oh, this has to be, for some reason I was thinking this just equips from the hand, but no, this actually has to be summoned and then equipped because it is a union monster. That completely went over my head there. So, not looking good for Nug here. And so, yeah, they drew into the Destiny draw here. And they're just going to switch the 101 to defense and over to Six Soul, who gets a copy of Chalice, normal summoning that Spirit of the Six Samurai, and then using the effect to equip it. And from here, they're just adjusting the attack, going to battle phase, running over the 101, and here they do get a draw, getting a copy of Keyzon, very strong. Main phase 2, setting the Chalice, and over to Nug, who gets a Phantom of Chaos. Let me check their graveyard here. Okay, they have a couple things, but let's see, with the emptiness, I don't think there's much they can do. Here, summoning the Phantom of Chaos, using the effect to banish the copy of Monk here, or I guess use the effect targeting the Monk. Let me just double check, is this cost? I think that's what they were kind of debating over here. Once per turn, target one effect monster in your graveyard. So the just targeting is the cost, not the banish. So here, it looks like Chalice is just going to negate the Phantom, and it looks like they're just going to pass it. So Six Soul draws a copy of Asceticism, and here they're going to normal summon the Keyzon, or, oh no, special summon it actually, and then go to battle phase, running over the Phantom and getting a draw, getting an upstart, and then Keyzon's going to attack in. And it looks like main phase 2, they are going to use this Shadow of Six Samurai Shien to make this a, what is this, less than 2,000 attack, or its original attack becomes 2,000 until the end. So they're just going and making this a 2,000 here. And after that, it looks like they are going to use the copy of Asceticism, being able to go and special summon this copy of Zanji. And I guess I should just go over this. You target a Six Samurai monster you control, special summon a Six Samurai monster from your deck with the same attack but a different name. And if you do, destroy it during the end of this turn, but usually, you know, they're going to do something with this before the end of the turn. So here the Keyzon is going to attack in for a lot of damage, and then the Zanji is going to be able to attack in for a lot of damage here. And let me just see, this is making it more attack, 2,000, and this is, oh, it's gaining from its own effect. Okay, right. Well, actually, wait, what did they detach from this then? Once per turn, you can detach a material from this card, target a Six Samurai monster you control with less than 2,000 attack. Its original attack becomes 2,000 until the end of the turn. So I'm actually not sure why they detached earlier then, because at that rate, if you control a Six Samurai monster with a different name, you can special summon. Oh, because they didn't control 2 yet. Okay, no, that makes sense, but I still feel like the attack should be different then. If it became 2,000 and now it's gaining 3, if I'm missing something, you guys can let me know. I just got back from a bit of a long trip, and so I'm a little out of it right now, but anyways, here Upstart Goblin is going to be activated and drawing into a copy of Dimensional Fissure. That is a rough one. And then overlaying for a Maelstrom. After that, activating the Dimensional Fissure over to Nug, who gets a copy of Plasma. So here they can go and activate this copy of Destiny Draw, and the Plasma gets banished here, and here Nug is going to draw 2, getting a Street Patrol and a Dark Creator. And yeah, they're just going to scoop it up. There wasn't a whole lot. Very surprising to see Six Soul come back from that after that initial turn got broken, but very impressive there. Moving on into game number 3, Nug will get to start this one out. Opening hands, we see Foolish, Trade-In, Street Patrol, Skyscourge, Norleras, and Dark Greffer. And on the other side, we see United, Lance, Shien, or Great Shogun, Shien, Elder, and Kageki. And here, Nug will get a draw for turn, getting a Destiny draw. So again, a very good hand, activating Trade-In, discarding the Norleras, and drawing into a Dark Creator and Phantom of Chaos. So now everything is pretty much set up for them. And here, they're going to special summon the Greffer by getting rid of the Dark Creator, using the Greffer, discarding the Street Patrol, and here they're going to send a copy of Mali, activating Foolish, sending the Plague Spreader, summoning the Phantom of Chaos, banishing the Norleras, and, you know, doing it all again. And here they draw into a copy of Norleras. They're going to basically do the same thing they did before and go and be able to summon a level 8 Synchro. Let's see if they go for Beals or the Void Ogre again. They are going to do the Void Ogre game again. And over to Six Soul, who gets a copy of Maxi. A little unfortunate there, but definitely a strong card. Back over to Nug, who gets a copy of One Day Apiece, switching the Void Ogre to attack and attacking in. This might be a slightly quicker game, given, you know, Nug didn't have to activate 3 upstarts. So after that, setting that one day over to 6 Soul, who draws into a copy of Dark Hole, but the Void Ogre can negate that, over to Nug, who gets a copy of Trade-In, going to battle phase and swinging in for another 3,000, setting the Trade-In, and here 6 Soul needs something, but unfortunately getting a 6 Samurai United, which isn't going to do it. Oh, but they are going to go and try to play around this. Very interesting. So here the 6 Sam United is going to be activated, and Nug is going to use the Void Ogre, and then the Dark Hole just clears the Void Ogre. Here, Nug is going to draw into a Plasma, but they do have, the Trade-In here, so they are going to be able to switch it out for 2 cards, getting a Plague Spreader and an Upstart, and they should, they do have the Mally, so they can just go for another level 8 Synchro. Hopefully they don't use this Upstart. It's not needed here. And they're going to go for the Mally open. The Max C is going to be chained, so they will get a few draws here. So let's see if there's anything. Mally is summoned, then normal summoning Plague Spreader, synchroing into a copy of Beals, and 6 Soul will get a draw, getting that copy of Spirit, which isn't going to be enough. And that is just game. Nug taking that. Oh, so they were showing they had Valor, but I don't think that would have done too much. And Flying Sea, interesting that they had these in. I guess if there was Lavalval chain plays or something. But, given that they didn't really need the Xyz summoning, as they really had only seen Synchro summoning, it's a little interesting. I guess they're just kind of going through and showing off what they sided and stuff like that, given, they didn't see any of this really. They saw, I guess, the Max C, but regardless, very interesting game there, and kind of cool to see, both of these decks do their thing. And anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like on it, comment any questions or videos you want to see in the future, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell to get notified anytime I put a new video out, share this video with your friends, and don't forget to go down to the video description to find out how you can send in your H.A.T format replays, whether you won or lost. If you thought the deck you or your opponent was playing was pretty cool, feel free to send that in. I'm sure a lot of people would love to see it. And anyways, guys, I will see you in the next video.